Hi, and welcome along to a game of two halves with myself and Mark Goldbridge in the building. The two goats are here, and we're back. It's been a couple of weeks, Mark. You know what I mean? Like FA Cup games, no games, especially for United. I mean,
we're still not back. We're still not back.
You're back tonight. You're back tonight. Yeah. I'll tell you, they're being very cruel to Man United. Like, you know, you have a couple of weeks off and then you're on a Monday night. I mean, oh, man. But we're back, and there were some great games over the weekend. And you know where I'm going to start, Mark. The North London derby. I'm going to start it off. I was there. Great game. If you're an Arsenal fan anyway. Emphatic win by Arsenal. Arsenal coming out 4-1 victors. I was just saying to you off air, the contrast, right, for an Arsenal fan. On Wednesday, last week Wednesday, after that game against Wolves, it was all doom and gloom. You know what I mean? I remember I came out of that game. It was freezing cold, driving sleet all over the place, horrible weather, horrible performance. And a lot of fans saying, you know, Arsenal are bottling this. But I remember saying after that game, the way to respond to that, the way to get yourself back on track, go and beat Tottenham in the North London derby. And it was an emphatic win for Arsenal. 4-1 winners away at Tottenham. What did you make of it, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right when you talk about bottling. There was a lot of criticism on Thursday, and 10 points from 21 is bottling it. Like, you know, but it doesn't mean it was bottled. It's just they went through a period of time where they were dropping points. And this is why I said on Friday morning that I still think Arsenal will win the league because it's still in their hands. They're under huge pressure. Obviously, there's a lot of people externally who want to put that pressure on Arsenal. There's people in the Arsenal fan base who want to put that pressure on. And there's people in the Arsenal fan base who are nervous, so they put the pressure on. So I think to go into that game, I was very impressed with the interviews of Declan Rice and Mikel Arteta ahead of the game. Yeah. I think he said, I don't acknowledge the word bottle, but internally they would be nervous. And I think the three things about this game was that Spurs are in a relegation battle. They've got a new manager bounce, and they normally like to drop points to stop Arsenal winning the league. They can actually win a game to stop Arsenal winning the league. So, and it's at Spurs. So they've got absolutely every bit of motivation to be up for this game and win it. And they did nothing. And Arsenal did everything. And I think that's the impressive thing for Arsenal is that from minute one, even at half time when it's like it's a close game on scoreline, 1-1. They're only back in it because Declan Rice makes a silly mistake. They did nothing in an attacking sense. And yeah, Gabriel was a bit theatric, and the referee might have given that goal in the past. Had been given, but they're clutching at straws because there's still a long way to go there. And Arsenal were the dominant team throughout, totally deserved to win it. But like you say, also sent a big statement as well. So from Arsenal's point of view, perfect day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think everything you said there was you said that so well. You know, I loved Mikel Arteta's interview as well ahead of that game when he said, you know, listen, basically if you can't handle the pressure, you know, you're at the wrong club. Like, you know, title races are pressure. You know what I mean? Sometimes teams run away with it like what Liverpool did last year, but that doesn't happen a lot. Most of the times they are tight races. And this was a big test passed by Arsenal. You know, like you said, to go away to Tottenham, you know, they had the opportunity, as you said, to stop us, but they didn't. And like you said, Arsenal from minute one, the attitude, the way they played, they just didn't give Tottenham a sniff in the game. And deserved winners. Could have been more. And two players have been heavily criticised.
You're going to say it. You're going to say what I was going to say here now. Go on.
Yeah, Eze and Gyökeres, both of them turning up. Eze loves the North London derby, doesn't he?
Yeah, 5 goals in. I don't think he's got many other Premier League goals, but 5 Premier League goals in 2 games. He was brilliant. Gyökeres, I was doing our watch along, and at half time, people were calling him Yocker Jeans or whatever it is they call. I can't remember. I don't know what the nicknames are for him. And I was like,
it's a lot of unfair criticism, Mark.
I said at half time, I think he's having a good game. He's nearly scored a brilliant goal. His hold-up play's been really good. Obviously, he's going to get judged on goals, but I think he's having a good half. He scores straight away. I mean, look, a lot of people think, Goldbridge is an Arsenal fan. When Gyökeres scored that goal, I was very happy. But, you know, you have players that maybe they do play for another club. But I always liked Gyökeres at Sporting. He went to Arsenal. I wanted him to come to United. But I think the criticism has been unfair. I like him as a player. I would happily have him up front for United. People just focus on the negatives. He's got 10 Premier League goals. He's had a difficult season because, they're getting used to him. And look, 2 really big goals yesterday. And also, you mentioned like the pressure. These players like Eze and Gyökeres and Madueke and Hincapié, they're new to the Premier League as well. Well, not Eze, but he's new to the environment of pressure at Arsenal. And I looked at their bench yesterday with the people like Madueke and Odegaard, etc., on it, and I thought the only reason Arsenal can't win this league is pressure. Like they've got the team, they've got the bench, they've got everything they need to do it. They've just got to deal with that pressure, and I think they've got a good opportunity, which is why I still think it's going to be very close between them and Man City. But if they can deal with the pressure, we've got a really good title race.
Yeah, I think, and I think what would have pleased Mikel Arteta is, like you said, it's the new players that won the game. You know what I mean? It is a Gyökeres for Hincapié as well as another new player to this game. Had a really, really good game as well. These players are really stepping up. That will please him a lot. It's how you're going to finish off the season, and these are going to be important players in it. And like you said, Gyökeres could be a very important player. 2 goals. He had a big hand in Eze's second as well. I just think it was an excellent game. For Tottenham, though, like you said, no real new manager bounce. Obviously, they had a lot of injuries going into the game. I remember doing a preview with the guys from We Are Tottenham, and they seemed very confident. And I said to them, Arsenal are a very good side. It's not going to be Arsenal that you saw against Wolves. They're going to be motivated for this one, right? And you got a lot of injuries, and that showed yesterday. They're in a big relegation battle right now. I mean, they're lucky that some of the results sort of went their way over the weekend, but they're in it. They're definitely in it. I mean, it's not going to be easy for them to get out of this. The teams in and around them, I think, are as good as them, if not better.
The only advantage Tottenham have got is they've got the points on the board. I mean, if West Ham get 2 more points and beat Bournemouth on Saturday night, then they're in a lot more trouble. 4-point gap still keeps it in their hands, but it's going to be interesting for Spurs because they have got injuries. But the team he picked yesterday, I was sort of a bit confused. Like, there was only 2 attackers on the pitch, 4 midfielders. I think he played a back 5. They didn't really create much. And I thought, well, Wolves had a go against Arsenal and they scored 2 goals from 2-0 down. And Spurs are coming into this at home and they're playing quite defensive. I mean, look, opening up against Arsenal might not have been a very good idea. But yeah, I mean, it was almost like, and I don't get that mentality. It was almost like, let's park the bus a little bit and see what happens. And maybe we'll get a draw against Arsenal. And look, maybe they'll play differently in other games. They can go down. Will they go down? They might have enough points. They might just have a shit season and not go down. But if West Ham or Forest, well, they need both. More probably West Ham. If West Ham sort their act out, then Spurs are in big trouble.
Yeah, I think, listen, I do think they probably will survive. Just looking at some of the games that West Ham have got coming up, I think West Ham's the real probably rivals with them for that spot. But they got to get their act together, Tottenham. Remember, they finished 17th last season as well. So you know that these teams sometimes where you're hovering in and around that area, it's no coincidence. Are they going to be able to handle the pressure to get out of it? It was very interesting, their managers talking after the game about their club and the club's ambitions. He only just turned up. I mean, that was a real strange one for me. But yeah, Tottenham in big relegation trouble. Manchester City, of course, the night before had put a lot of pressure on Arsenal with a 2-1 win over Newcastle. Game was a lot closer than probably City thought it was going to be because they got a great record against Newcastle. But ultimately, they got the job done. You could see what it meant to their players. They were celebrating blocks and clearances. But Newcastle really put them under a lot of pressure in that second half.
Yeah, and I think the fact that Erling Haaland was probably one of their man of the matches and he didn't score a goal just shows you the work rate that was put in by everybody. I mean, he was absolutely sweating buckets in the second half, and a lot of that was because of the defensive work he was doing. So, yeah, you could see after the game how much it meant to people like Haaland and Donnarumma, who are world-class players. So, yeah, big 3 points for City. And look, Arsenal and City, it's going to be very interesting. You can sort of look at their fixtures now and go, where are the points going to get dropped? And any dropping of points could be significant. We know that big game's coming up in the Etihad in early April. And it's about both of them. I think Pep will have said to Man City, we've got to win every game until then. We have to win every game until then to just put some pressure on Arsenal. But look, I think City spent really well in January, and I think they're a good team. But I don't think that they're not the City of previous years. They're not the City, in my opinion, that you could say are going to win their next 12 games. They might do, but I don't think they're that. So, look, I expected them to win at the weekend. They've got some players in that team and a manager who knows what to do. We've got a title race. As for Newcastle, again, it's a little bit like Spurs, not as bad, but horrific season for them. And they probably just want to get to the summer and recharge because they're not going to be in Europe next year.
Yeah, listen, great weekend so far if you're a Man United fan. You're just sitting there waiting with your game tonight, watching teams around you, apart from, and it's a great weekend as well for Liverpool. We'll get to them in a minute. Well, actually, let's go to them right now. They didn't deserve it. They were pretty dreadful. They were dominated by, Nottingham Forest. But if you don't take your chances, right, and they got sucker punched right at the end. McAllister with the winning goal for Liverpool. As I said, they didn't deserve it at all. But it doesn't matter. They got the 3 points, 3 big points, and not great for Nottingham Forest. It keeps them right down at the bottom. But Liverpool, that was massive for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought the first half, if considering the football that Forest have seen for the last 2 years, you'd be like, this is good. You know, they spent a lot of time in Liverpool's half. Liverpool were defending all the time. So they've probably got more hope from a loss than they've ever had, because I think if they play like that, they'll be absolutely fine. They're utilising their better attacking players. Their defence can play a little bit higher up. But like you say, I think second half, and to be fair, we've seen it time and time with Palace, that you play Thursday night, second half on Sunday, they just die on their feet. And Liverpool came back into it because I think Forest were tired. But Liverpool were shocking. Yeah, absolutely terrible. I mean, just considering they have had a bit of time off, and this is a mass, and they've just been to Sunderland and win. You think they're going to come out, and they were so bad. Like, I think at half time they'd had no shots, or 0.06 xG, whatever that is, but basically means they've done nothing. And then I'll give them credit to win a game where you've played that badly. It's always the cliche of, winning when you're playing badly is the key. But I thought they got a bit lucky. I thought Van Dijk was miles offside. Apparently he wasn't. But to be fair, the goal that hit McAllister, that should have been a goal. I don't know what VAR is doing there. I mean, I don't know why that's a handball. But look, fantastic result for Liverpool. But it was nearly a perfect weekend for United, like you said, with Villa and Chelsea and Liverpool nearly dropping points. It would have been perfect.
Well, yeah, Chelsea. I mean, that was a really disastrous result for them. 1-1 at home against Burnley. Yet another game for Chelsea where a player gets a red card. Ill discipline is costing them seriously. I think that's 7 red cards this season. And Fofana is the one sent off this time. That means he'll miss the game against Arsenal as well. I mean, what is up with their discipline, and what is up with them this season and their inconsistencies?
I definitely think if you just got rid of half of those red cards, they'd have another 5 or 6 points, which makes them very comfortable. They're now, I would say, and it's going to change week on week, but I would say at the moment, Chelsea are probably the favourites to finish 6th. I think Liverpool, Villa and Man United would be looking at it and going, they've got to go Arsenal, they've got to go Villa in their next 2 games. They've still got to play City, they've still got to play United. They've got I think they've still got to play Liverpool as well. So they've got a tough run in Chelsea. And it's the same old problem. They can't kill games off. They're wasteful in the attack. And as you say, they've got indiscipline. And I don't know what Fofana's doing. He's on a yellow card when he makes that tackle as well. And for me, it was borderline red anyway. So it doesn't matter who you're playing against in the Premier League. You give yourself 20 minutes to defend a one goal lead. And Burnley nearly won it as well. So
yeah,
I feel bad for Rosenior in a way. He gets a lot of the blame, but he's inheriting a problem that's been there all season. And Chelsea dropping points to Burnley and Leeds in consecutive home games, that's not the form of a team that is going to finish in the top 5 at the moment.
Ridiculous. And Villa as well, another team that place was our fortress before Christmas. Now they can't buy a win at home. They
Can't
got it
score
back.
goals again. That's the
Yeah, they
problem.
managed to get a draw. You know, what I mean, ended up 1-1. Tammy Abraham with the equaliser. Fantastic free kick by Stack. But 1-1, great point for Leeds. Leeds are really showing a lot of fight to get out of that relegation zone.
Yeah, no disrespect to Leeds. They're playing really well at the moment and deserve to be staying up. And I think with Villa, it's their problem all year is Ollie Watkins just hasn't scored goals, has he? And they're not scoring enough goals. They're definitely missing the likes of Tielemans and McGinn and Kamara. So I have sympathy with Villa, but again, they're going to have a battle to stay in the top 5, and they've got Europa League football coming up. So look, this Premier League's so unpredictable. I'll tell you on Friday, Premier League predictions, again, so many results just going the way you don't think they're going to go.
Yeah, I'll run through some of the other results. Palace beating Wolves by 1-0. Wolves missing a penalty in that game. You know, better performance by them, but still ended up losing the game. Impressive by Fulham. They went away to Sunderland, 3-1 winners. That's another place that was a real fortress. That's now 2 defeats at home now for Sunderland in the last couple of games. As we said, West Ham 0, Bournemouth 0. You know, West Ham really needed to win that game. And Brentford losing at home, another team that have been brilliant at home, losing at home to Brighton. No Coyote in that game, I noticed. The guy with the long throws, he got injured, I think, or he wasn't feeling well. But Brighton winning that. James Milner setting a new record for appearances in the Premier League, but very, very much needed win there by Brighton.
Yeah, they're so inconsistent. I mean, again, I would have had Brentford down for a nailed-on win, Sunderland for a nailed-on win. So credit to Fulham and Brighton. That's the Premier League at the moment.
Yep. So that completed the games at the weekend. Let's take a look at, first of all, the relegation zone. Wolves, as we know, they're literally down, rock bottom on 10. Burnley on 19. Can they get out of it? Possibly. I mean, it's still way behind, but listen, it's showing a bit of fight. West Ham on 25 points. Those are the bottom 3 at the moment. But then 17th, only 2 points above that is Nottingham Forest on 27, and Spurs 4 points above on 29. Leeds now moving away from that zone, 31 points, and we know Leeds are good at home as well. You fancy Leeds to get out of this. So it's looking like one of West Ham, Forest, or Spurs. Who do you think is going to go, Mark?
I think before the weekend, I was thinking Forest, but having seen their new manager and the way he's going to make them play, looks like they want to score goals. So I think they've got a good chance of staying up. I'd say I'm leaning towards West Ham again at the moment. Having said that, they'd be used to the pressure of relegation. Like you said, Spurs, they need to win a game quickly, because if they can make that gap 7, it's probably too much.
Yeah. At the top, it's Arsenal now on 61, 5 points clear of Manchester City in second place on 56, but they do have that game in hand. Aston Villa on 51 points, dropping points again. Chelsea in 4th on 45. Manchester United 45, but they have a game in hand. They play tonight, as we know. They're in 5th. And in 6th place, Liverpool, good win for them on 45 as well. So a big chance for Manchester United tonight, Mark. If they win that game, they go into 4th place.
Yeah, and I was saying this last night. I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, Chelsea have got to go to the Emirates next Sunday, and we've got Palace at home. So beat Everton tonight, beat Palace on Sunday, and realistically could be 6 points ahead of Chelsea. And that is an absolute huge momentum shift. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at. I mean, Everton at home, I'd expect us to at least get a point, but hopefully the players have seen the results and they treat it like a massive game that it is.
It's at Everton, isn't it? Because remember, they beat you with 10 men earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
So,
but apparently they're not very good. It's our first trip.
They're not great at home, are they? It's weird.
Yeah,
they've not really got used to their new stadium yet. So, massive.
We might turn up. We might turn up like Liverpool, though. Like inexplicably just cold and not up for it. I don't know, but hopefully we're not like that.
Well, it's going to be interesting tonight. What's your prediction for that game?
3-1 United. I think we'll score a few goals tonight.
Yeah, I'll go. I think it'll be a bit close. I'll go 2-1, but I do fancy Man United to get the points in that game tonight. Let's get into the team of the week. You want to kick off? Go for your goalkeeper and back 4.
Yeah, I've gone Dean Henderson in goal. Thought he played really well, kept a clean sheet and a penalty. So I've gone for him in goal. And then I have got also went with Justin at right back. and I went Van Dijk and Konate at centre back, and my left back I went with Mitchell at Palace.
Oh, different. I went Donnarumma in goal. I think he made a couple of really important saves. I will go with Justin at right back. Hincapié, I thought was excellent for Arsenal yesterday at left back. Gay, I thought played well for Man City, and Gabriel, I thought was another commanding performance by him at Tottenham.
Apart from when he was diving.
Yeah, he got pushed in the back, 2 hands.
Come on.
The thing is about
this, you know as well as I do, that could have gone the other way easily because it has gone the other way.
He bought it a bit, but you do when you push someone in the back with 2 hands, not 1 hand, not barge, 2 hands, and you push them. You are looking at that goal being done. I've seen that happen to us a few times this season. So
I've seen. What I'm saying is, we've seen him get given against him. If I was Arteta, I would say about that, he doesn't need to go down, and in a game like that, let's not risk that. Look, I said at the time that can go either way. You can't say it's not a foul, but it's risky. But no, I don't mind Hincapié. Obviously, we've both got Justin.
So you got Van Dijk and Konate. Which one I into then? Let me give you, because I thought Gay had a good game.
I'll probably say Van Dijk. I thought Van Dijk played really well.
All right,
look, Liverpool were crap, but defensively they did play well. They had to.
I think I'm going to stick with Donnarumma because just for the magnitude of
Raya made a good save, didn't he, when he clawed it off the line as well?
Yeah, I thought Raya, I was thinking to put Raya in there, but he was brilliant and his distribution was great. But he didn't really have a lot else to do in that game in comparison to what Donnarumma had to do. That's why I put Donnarumma in. All right, midfield, I've gone O'Reilly, who of course scored 2 goals, looked really good in that first half.
Yeah, got him.
Eze, of course, also 2 goals in the North London derby. And I put Stack in from Leeds. What a free kick that was. He saw the keeper was slightly over the Chelsea keeper, and he absolutely bolted it into that corner. Fantastic. So that was my 3 in midfield.
Yeah, I had the same Eze and O'Reilly, but I went with McAllister. But I'm happy to change him out for Stack because I actually don't think McAllister played very well.
He didn't really do nothing apart from,
scored a couple of goals.
Massive goal. But I thought Stacks was a massive goal as well to get that at Chelsea. Up front, who've you gone?
I've gone, well, to be honest, the first time I've really struggled, I only had 2. I had Gyökeres and Jimenez. Easy.
Yeah, I've got both of them. I also put in Saka. I thought he was brilliant yesterday. He was unplayable at times. Like every time he got on the ball, he caused Tottenham no end of problems. And I thought, even though he didn't score, but he was just a problem all game. So I've gone with Saka. Jimenez, of course, 2 goals by him. Gyökeres, 2 goals as well.
Well, the only other one I'd give a shout is maybe Harry Wilson at Fulham, who's having a great season. But I think it was that sort of weekend, wasn't it? There wasn't.
Yeah.
There was goals, but the goals sort of came from midfielders, and I don't know. I struggled to find another player to put in that front 3. To be fair.
Okay, we'll go with that front 3. Of course, big game tonight. Manchester United. I'm sure Mark will be all over that. You've been waiting a couple of weeks for this game, so I'm sure he's.
It has been a good weekend, though. To be fair, I mean, it's a pain waiting to Monday, but there was some really. I mean, they didn't all live up to it, but I mean, the North London derby did, and I thought Man City Newcastle was a good game as well. Yeah. But yeah, it's great just to have the Prem back, really.
Brilliant to have it back. Brilliant to have it back, Mark. Listen, we'll be back on Friday, of course, with the prediction show over on Mark's channel. It's hotting up, people. It's hotting up. I started to look at it yesterday and go, it's only a couple of months, and I'm starting to remember what happens to the loser.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to get my game on. You know what I mean? But we'll be back on That's Football on Friday. Mark, thank you very much. Enjoy your game tonight. Good luck with that. Of course, Mark will be on his channel tonight doing a watch-along to that game, so make sure you're checking it out. And, we'll be back next week. The Premier League is hotting up.